In this video, we will go over division with decimals. Let's start with a decimal divided by a whole number. 2 45/100 divided by 5. Since my divisor is already a whole number, I can go directly into my long division. So I'm going to write 2 45/100 divided by 5. And the first thing we want to do is bring up the decimal before we do any division. So I bring the decimal straight up, and now I'm ready to follow my regular long division algorithm. So 5 goes into 24 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Then I subtract. I bring down the 5, and 5 goes into 45 9 times. And I am now done with my answer. So 2 45/100 divided by 5 is 49/100. In the next example, we're going to do decimal divided by decimal. I have 1 800 divided by 4/10. My first step is I'm going to rewrite this in fraction form. So I have 1 800 divided by 4/10. My goal is going to get the denominator to equal a whole number. In order to do that, I need to multiply by 10. The reason for 10 is I need to move my decimal one place to the right. In order to keep the value the same, what I do to the bottom, I must do to the top and multiply the top by 10. This actually means I'm multiplying by a value of 1. 10 over 10 is 1, and any number times 1 is the same number. So even though I'm moving my decimal over, I'm still keeping the same value. So this becomes 4 in our denominator, and 1.08 times 10 means I move my decimal point one place to the right. Now I'm ready to do my long division. So I do 10.8 divided by 4. And like in the previous slide, the first thing I'm going to do is bring my decimal up and now divide normally. 2 times 4 is 8. And then I subtract, bring down the 8, and 4 goes into 28/7. So 1.08 divided by 0.4 is 2.7. Let's take a look at another example. 4 71/100 divided by 3/100. So my first step is going to put it into fraction form. My second step is I want to make the denominator a whole number. I need to move my decimal 2 places to the right. So what I'm really doing is multiplying by 100. So if I multiply the bottom by 100, I need to multiply the top by 100 and move my decimal place the same amount of spaces. So therefore, I get 471. Now I'm ready to do my long division, and I'm going to do 471 divided by 3. I no longer have a decimal, even though it's hiding at the end, that I need to really worry about. So now I'm going to divide, and I get 17. 3 goes into 17 5 times. And then I subtract out again, and 21, and 3 goes into 21 7 times. So therefore, the answer to my problem is 157. We're going to look at another problem that's a little bit different. We have 37 4/10 divided by 2/100. My first step, just like in the previous problems, is to write it out in fraction form. I want to get my denominator as a whole number. I'm moving 2 places to the right, so I'm multiplying by 100. If I look at my numerator now and I need to move it 2 places to the right, if I move this, I've only jumped 1 place. So what I need to do is I need to annex or add a 0 in order to multiply that by 100. So I'm going to end up with adding a 0 there. Now I can go into my long division to finish off the problem. 2 goes into 3 once. 2 goes into 17 8 times. I get 16. 2 goes into 14 7 times. And then I have to, 2 goes into 0, 0. So 37 4/10 divided by 2/100 is 1,870.